So Sarah and I were talking about that this space is reserved for quiet study for students.
Yes, and how important that is for a lot of students, and how important it is for some students only on certain days. You know, maybe on other days they want a really active collaborative spot, depending what they're doing on that day or how they feel on that day. So we are always striving for balance in the types of spaces that we offer and variety in the types of spaces we offer. And it's really important that we have these quiet, very quiet spaces where people who need that to focus and to be productive can do it. Other people need a hum. They just, or they need people around, or we've heard students say that it's somehow motivating to them to just be with other people studying, just to see that activity around them. And then some people are really into very active space, or on a particular day, they need to use one of our group study rooms and literally be talking and, you know, drawing on the whiteboard and helping each other through things or working on a group project. So we really want to have good variety in our space.
Yeah. I say a recording studio downstairs, is that's probably a collaborative space, right?
Yes, that is the intention, that service be much more collaborative, yeah. And we also have the research studio, which is the space where students and staff and faculty and staff can gather around a collaborative computing station and basically work together on spatial projects. That's part of our data services unit that does geographic information systems and, you know, spatial mapping and all of those things. And that's also a lot of times a very collaborative effort. Not always, but we're trying to provide that kind of space and that kind of service too.
Wow. And you guys are really savvy about construction. I mean, just the last 15 years, Olin has just transformed. I mean, you probably have it down pat on how to still have a vital library when somebody's got a jackhammer 3 floors below.
Yeah, well, to be open throughout our most recent project was definitely challenging at times. In some ways, though, it was less challenging than I thought, because I really did sometimes think that we would just see almost no one in here. You know, if it were extremely loud or you're hearing jackhammering all day long, I just had a hard time imagining that people would even want to be around. But we had people here in the building with, you know, all of their study materials right in front of them, and you'd have jackhammering going on in the adjacent space, you know, down on a lower level, and they would still just be studying away.
So what's your favorite part of this library right now?
Oh, I'm glad you said right now, because I mean, I feel like that does change for me all the time. I'm really excited about our new north entrance and the strong pathway that it connects up to, that it then connects to our south entrance, because I just think that has made our library look and feel so much more welcoming than it was before. And for our most recent project, that was actually one of the elements that came up very, very early in planning and just stayed consistent throughout. It was very important that we have great accessibility into and through the building and have good connections to everything that's outside our building, and also create along this pathway great opportunities for everybody who comes into the library to see our exhibitions, our services, you know, to have the opportunity to see all of that as they come into the space. But
what's one of the most popular services here at the library?
Oh gosh, well, again, you know, I think about that a lot in terms of different populations that we serve, because it feels like certainly for undergraduates, the spaces are hugely popular. The study spaces, and interaction spaces, you know, and thinking about that variety that I was describing earlier with study spaces, you also have to bring into the mix things like Whispers Cafe, which, in addition to being, you know, a place to get coffee and great food and everything, is also a study and social space.
So you've got a collection of about 5.5 million?
Thereabouts, yeah.
And then that linear feet of manuscripts.
Yeah.
Storage is a bit of a challenge these days?
Storage is always a challenge, I think. But one thing that was really great in the most recent project is gaining some storage space for special collections, which gives us some flexibility, not only to think about special collections, but our general collections as well. So even with the collections, we are always thinking about balance, just as we are with spaces, you know, in general, and the types of study spaces we offer. The Newman Exploration Center is, inside that center incorporates the base of the Newman Tower of Collections and Exploration, which is what we're in right now.
Oh,
So
I
that
get
tower
it.
structure actually spans, 4 levels. The base is where we were on level A, and then there's level 1, and that's adjacent to Whispers Cafe. There's special collections exhibition in that space. And level 2 is Reese's Landing, which is a collaborative and more active study environment where we saw the Rama table. And that is part of the tower as well. And then this is the top level of the tower. So exploration, this is the Tower of Exploration, and building on that the words that start with X. That's where words that start with X came from.